I think almost every one of our patients at some point is going to have a Dutch test, right? I think it's a great starting point because to me, the fundamental issue for people is how do you modulate stress in your world, right? We live in such a stressful time, and understanding, like we talked about on the podcast, sometimes people are like, I handle stress great. Well, you've adapted, so you think you handle it great, but biochemically, it doesn't look the same. The first thing I look for is the rhythm of their cortisol, right? We talk about with patients like cortisol should be like the sun, and talk about why you should have a cortisol spike in the morning, why that's healthy, why we want to maintain that, and why we want cortisol to be at its lowest at bedtime. So that's the first thing I look at. I then look at the metabolization of cortisol through 24 hours and understanding, like, are you keeping up with cortisol demands? Those are the two biggest things. That's what we focus on. Then we're going to look at the other hormone metabolites, looking at the androgens, the estrogen, and then there's the organic acid component. Because what's really interesting is as people wear out their cortisol, now they can't keep up with dopamine, now they can't keep up with norepinephrine, and that's why they feel flat, and that's why they're doing things that tend to be extreme, and realizing that, well, maybe the extreme things are not what you need to do. I've just seen people who work so hard who have burnt their cortisol out, and it's confusing for people. I spoke to someone yesterday and they're like, well, I thought the problem was high cortisol. I said, well, acutely, but now, do this for whatever time period, another 6 months or a year. Now your cortisol is going to be really low, and you're going to come back and you won't even be able to get out of bed. This is why I love the Dutch test. And this is why we're going to be doing more and more, is because how someone internally is handling stress in their universe, in their world, to me is maybe the most important aspect to understanding them as a human.